Harlem it's been described by people as the African American Mecca. It's been described as the African American cultural homeland. And the way I describe it to people is as someplace as fabled and special as Paris. But in America, Black lives, Black achievement, Black success are discounted and trivialized into meaninglessness. Now, you go around the world and Harlem is known by everyone. The most dynamic American contribution to world culture is music derived from African Americans. Ragtime, jazz, blues, hip-hop. And Harlem is one of the birthplaces of all of those forms of music. And the tragedy is that on a daily basis, little by little, bit by bit, Harlem is disappearing. It would be as if you were, in a piecemeal way, destroying Venice or Paris. No one would go along with that, nor would anyone go along with the fact that one was moving out all of the Parisians from Paris and moving in someone else, or all of the Venetians and moving in someone else. Would Paris be Paris without the Parisians? Will Harlem be Harlem without African Americans? I wrote a piece in the Times called The End of Black Harlem. And one of the responses I got was from Khalil Muhammad, who at that time was the head of the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. And he said that, without citing my piece, but he said, that in Harlem, as long as there were strong and powerful cultural institutions like the National Black Theater and the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture and the Studio Museum in Harlem and the Dance Theater of Harlem, that Harlem would still be Harlem. Harlem would still be this special African American place. But I disagree. I think without Black people living here, that, and great numbers, that the Studio Museum, the Schomburg, will cease to exist, or if they do continue to exist, will exist as a kind of hollow, trivial kind of place compared to what it is now. One of the things that was so telling for me during the last presidential election is not Donald Trump, not Hillary Clinton, not Bernie Sanders. No candidate mentioned the problem of the lack of affordable housing or the problem of gentrification and displacement of people in any way, shape, or form. And it is a national problem. Historic African American communities all over the nation, from Crenshaw and Los Angeles to Washington, D.C., and Charleston and Savannah and New Orleans, are all being recast as places that are more welcoming to whites. And what's been shown recently is that the problem of redlining, where banks fail to make affordable mortgages available to people of color at the same rate that they do to whites, it's been shown that this problem is worse than ever, that people who are less qualified for a mortgage loan than an African American candidate will get a mortgage when the same African American who has a better job and better security do not get a loan. It's a bleak time and a worrisome time. Around 4% of the buildings in Harlem are protected by landmarking, whereas in Greenwich Village, 2/3 of the buildings are protected by landmarking. I would submit to you that Harlem is no less historic or no less rich in architectural beauties, buildings of great aesthetic significance and great historic significance. The more Harlem gentrifies, the more pressure there is to destroy whatever there is and to replace it with more luxury housing and buildings that are usually the most banal and soul-deadening structures you ever saw in your life.